We're back for week 13 of 2025 NFL season on the week of Thanksgiving, which I'm not very thankful for this camera for corrupting my footage, meaning this video is now going to be late, meaning we get to hear just some spectacular picks come out of my mouth 2 times now for 16 exciting games. Hello everyone, it's great to be back and I'm thankful for doing this, but my camera is very not thankful. But anyways, this week no one's on a bye week and we got a lot of big games to preview and make picks for, so that's a total of 16 games on a less traditional type of schedule due to the holiday. Also make another team selection for the Eliminator challenge, and then we will take a look at the Pick'em League, and then we'll go to the week 12 replay booth before wrapping this thing up. Like I said, we have a lot to cover and I am getting this out late because of my corrupted footage, so let's not waste any time. I'm going to speak very fast. The first classic game on Thanksgiving features the Packers being hosted by the Lions in Detroit, and both these teams are needing a win as they are behind the Chicago Bears in NFC North, which makes this one of the biggest games of the year with playoffs on the line. And both sides are good, but I feel it's going to be a matter of an offensive showing here, and the Packers are just not 100% when it comes to health, while Detroit can use a limited amount of elite offensive weapons in this game, and I feel that's what it's going to come down to, which gets the Lions a win. Both these teams come off massive wins, with the Chiefs knocking down what were the best team in the NFL, and the Cowboys defeated the Super Bowl champions after being down 21-0. And this game will be a big one as Dallas typically hosts Thanksgiving games as well. And I expect to see the best out of both of these teams, and I feel the Chiefs will be good, but I feel this game will mean a lot to the Dallas Cowboys after scoring 24 unanswered points going into this game, and I don't know what it is, but I do believe the momentum will carry on to this game for the Cowboys, and Dak Prescott will use all of his weapons to pull off a win at home. The more non-traditional Thanksgiving game features a divisional matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens under the lights for Thursday Night Football. It will be the return of Joe Burrow, so we'll see how things play out. And we've talked about how the Bengals do concede points like crazy, and they continue to do so. And they could have a good offensive showing, but I don't feel that will so much matter as the Ravens have momentum. They've taken the lead in the AFC North, and as long as Lamar Jackson helps motivate his team to stay winning, which I do see, they'll have no problem picking up a win as long as they score. Black Friday features the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Bears are continuing to show their legitimacy while the Eagles are once again being questioned as frauds. Good news for the Eagles is their division is not that great as they still comfortably hold the division lead, and in this game I think the Bears will be good offensively with the likes of Dunze and Moore being a big part of this team, but the Eagles have at least for now have more elite weapons. It's a matter of using them, and personally at home I do feel this time it's going to be enough for the Eagles to get a win, but you do need to keep an eye on the Bears, however, as they have defeated every team in this division so far. They could get the sweep on Friday. Now we're back to our normally scheduled games, and we have the Rams and Panthers going head to head. And to be honest, the LA Rams look completely unstoppable right now as they have absolutely demolished Tampa most recently. And the Carolina Panthers, they played decently, but it was not an ideal game for them either on Monday. I'm not going to waste time on this one, but this should be a Rams win, and do not be shocked, however, if Carolina shows the intensity as they are trying to fight to win this division. The 49ers are seeking to hang on as they sit third in the division with a good record 8-4, and they will play away being hosted by the Cleveland Browns. And this could make an interesting contest as Shedeur Sanders recently picked up his first career win. I'm not sure what that's going to mean going up against a much better team, but it makes this matchup have some questions. However, we talked about last week how the 49ers have a healthy offense, and that has paid off for them the last 2 weeks, and I feel that will just be enough again this time around, even though they are going up against a good defensive team. It feels like it's game on now in the AFC East as the Texans have been winning while the Colts are slowly slipping up. Colts didn't look bad in their overtime loss, so I do count that going up against the Texans, and it's going to be a tough, again, they get the offense rolling on all cylinders, and it's going to be an extremely close game as the Texans do have their identity that they're rolling with. This game can truly go either way, but in this one, I'm actually side with the Indianapolis Colts. As I feel we'll see the heat turned up, knowing how much this game should mean to them being in the division. The Saints look more like themselves, and the Dolphins are on a roll currently. We're continuing to see things shuffled around for the Saints to be more aggressive, but it's only working short term. The Dolphins have figured things out, and they are coming off a bye, so they cannot afford a slow start, which is my only concern right now. But personally, I do trust this coaching staff on this team. to have this team prepared because everyone's fighting for their jobs, whether you're a player or a coach, and they have opportunities to keep on winning. So I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. Minus a successful game from Kirk Cousins. Rumors are still out there that the Falcons are looking to replace him anyways. He'll have a slightly tougher contest this week against the Jets, but that should be attainable. The inconsistency from the Falcons concern me, but I believe his veteran presence will keep this team more stable and get some more wins as they do need them big time. The Jets haven't been bad, but they have fallen off a cliff in their second halves lately. I expect that once more with the big game from Bijan Robinson, especially if Drake London, who doesn't seem ready to go, isn't ready to go. But anyways, that should be enough for an ATL win. The Arizona Cardinals have been close to winning, but they haven't won. They're up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have looked absolutely atrocious and disastrous, as well as lost to sea. Cardinals do have some good offensive performances lately, but they have not got the defensive showings. And you could argue the same about the Buccaneers at times, but we'll see what happens with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback and what that means for this team. Keeping all things in mind, Tampa does have more elite weapons offensively, so I feel that's what it's come down to, and they'll get the win at home, because if not, then all the players will be lining up in front of the cannons for some cannon fire. The silly stuff must stop from Jacksonville Jaguars, because that's how the Titans got their only win of the year so far against Arizona. And there's a lot of questions about Trevor Lawrence when it comes to his interceptions and whether you want to put the blame on him ultimately or not. I'll leave it up to y'all, but it does somewhat concern me, but at the same time, not so much really, because he does have all the offensive pieces to score, and this is a weak Titans defensive team that also can't score, so Jacksonville should be able to win. Minnesota Vikings may want to kiss this season goodbye, and they are up against former quarterback Sam Darnold, who has also been great with Jackson's making the Jiba, and I expect this duo to do their thing as normal. And for the Vikings, their offensive line is probably going to get smothered again, and it's quite sad, but I don't want to waste time comparing a team down in the depths that does have weapons like Seattle does, but they don't know how to use them apparently. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks here. Well, the Raiders' offensive line shows they can't prevent pressure. I would expect the same against the Chargers, who need to hit the reset button after getting obliterated before their bye week. And we know the Chargers can bring the pressure, and that should be more than enough to win as long as the Chargers have a semi-good day offensively. So the Chargers are my pick to win. At this point, I have no clue what to expect from either of these teams anymore. The team I'm more disappointed in is Pittsburgh, because their defense has not got them wins when they need them. And we talk about Josh Allen being an MVP, but he's had quite some bad games lately. He's thrown a bunch of interceptions. He's costing his team wins. So what it's going to come down to is who I think straight up better. And Allen's not been as good as lately, but I feel he's fine. And if they get on a roll, Buffalo should win. I can't really speak much for Pittsburgh because they had a big lead in the division, and now they've lost it. So they might as well skyfall at this point. The Broncos are low-key running away with the division, and they are up against the Commanders, who are moving some roles of their players to try to get a spark. And the Broncos did have a much better game previously. I'm not sure what we're going to get from them this week, but their wide receiver 1 and 2 duo, Sutton and Franklin, has got them big gains on the field, and the Washington Commanders can't really score, which they will play one of the best defensive teams in the NFL. And with that being said, the Broncos should be able to hold off the Commanders. I just don't know how this game's going to play out. I'm not going to lie that Jameis Winston is out here balling, trying to get the Giants a win with what they do have. And they're having fun lately, even though they're not winning. And the Patriots need to be ready for this game, because if not, they're likely going to lose. And they had a slow start last game, and they cannot afford that, while the Giants ended up throwing a win away last week. And we know what both of these teams have, and while I feel the Giants can be win-bound, I feel the Patriots, no, they cannot let off the gas. And we'll get a win here, and we'll see Drake May leading the victory. For the tiebreaker, which is a Monday Night Football game, I have a total of a whopping 60 points being scored in this game. Scoreline's going to be a wild 31-29 scoreline. As mentioned, Patriots, they get the victory. Welcome back to the Eliminator Challenge. We are still alive after Jacksonville had to settle for an overtime victory, so that was a little scary because that should have probably never happened. Anyways, this week it comes down to another Florida team to keep me alive. And this week, it's not my team. It's the Miami Dolphins. I just feel this week they're good enough, and there's no questions about their offensive abilities. Now, than there was before. And we know the Saints are playing more aggressive now, but the Dolphins should be able to take advantage of the rookie duo at quarterback and running back as long as they take care of business at home. And I don't see that being an issue, so they should have a good Sunday. Now we're going to zoom through this real quick because we're trying to get this video done. But anyways, for our accuracy and how we did in the Pick'em League, we ended up getting 6 games right, so I would say that was pretty good. I thought we did bad, but the reality is that was just me. And when we went 0%, that was on 2 of the games, so yeah, we're back to 0%. We have the Buffalo and Houston game, which Buffalo didn't perform. And then we have the Philadelphia and Dallas game. That probably should have never happened, to be honest. Now to look at how we did. I did not do very good. I'm sure you can see where I'm at. And we have Zach, who has won. Don't really want to talk more than that because now if you look at the standings, yeah, he's leading. So you can look at it. Doesn't look very pretty. Maybe next week it'll look much better. All right, well now let's go to the replay booth in week 12. Let's see the dumb things that I did say looking back at week 12 itself.
It's hard to say what could happen as there's no guarantee that we're going to see these teams play like they did last week.
Yeah, not at all.
But the Bills
Not
are going to be
even
the better team here. Before I made this pick, I did see a stat that new starting quarterbacks don't win a game for Cleveland.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and Shadur Sanders is now up for the task against the Las Vegas Raiders.
No worries about that.
I looked for the easiest matchup possible, and I did find the team, and that was the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah,
their offense has been excellent.
It literally does feel like this Warner challenge thing is going to sink pretty soon.
And it's going to be really up to the defense to do their job.
That's just how it is. All right, that's going to be it for the Week 13 edition of Thanksgiving. We'll be back to normal for a few weeks before Christmas rolls around, so enjoy your week, everyone. Should be exciting as the playoffs do roll around the corner. I know they're pretty close. Anyways, just want to say thanks for watching, and sorry for another late video. This one was not my fault. I was on time, and then I realized the footage was corrupted. But anyways, that'll be it for me. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you for week 14.